So awesome. So hey Sarah, how are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
Doing good. Got my Diet Pepsi. So
Of course, I know I saw that. I'm like, does your wife not give you a hard time about drinking so much of that?
yeah, she does not. So
Really?
that's nice.
Because she's a health nut, right?
She's kind of healthy. Yeah, maybe she just wants me to like keel over.
Has she been asking you about your health life insurance lately? I do that to mine.
Oh, so hey, so thanks for taking this time out. And gosh,
No problem, anytime.
yeah, I just want to actually ask you a bunch of questions. I know, like, oh my gosh, you and I met probably like 2 weeks ago. You came to one of my 3-day live events. It feels like it's probably been
hmm
7 years. But
it's only been a week and a half really since I left San
wow,
Diego. If I think about it, really, yeah, it's a week and a half.
we
It
get
does feel like a long time because it's been a crazy busy time since then.
okay,
I'm not getting much sleep. I've been working a lot. So
awesome.
I don't know what to do with myself this morning because I kind of woke up and was like, okay, I'm not rushing. I have a lot to do, but it's not like, ah.
Right.
So it's really, a weird feeling for me for the last week and a half to actually be like, okay, I can stop and I can really look at what I need to do and make calls and make some plans rather than just running around like crazy.
Yeah. And tell me about that because well, I guess we should start off first is like, I mean, I know when you probably were thinking about coming to the 3-day event, you were probably like,
hmm
should I do this? Should I not do this?
Oh
Gosh,
yeah.
what's the difference in this and that? And so tell me, like, what were some things going through your brain before
hmm
you attended the event, and how'd you decide to even sign up for it and do it?
Well, I've been in real estate about 3 years. Probably seriously for about a year and a half. I kind of got my license to sell my house, was like, maybe not. And I just fell in love with it. But I have basically signed up for everything under the sun. Guy comes to the door and wants to sell me something. I'm like, sure. So by the time I found you, I was beginning to doubt my own ability to make smart decisions when it came to my real estate business.
Mm.
Um, I was just floundering, getting some Zillow leads, not really having any plan in place. I just didn't know where to go next. And I'd signed up for some other coaching things where they're like, hey, you got to knock on doors, you got to call those FISBOs. And I'm an outgoing person. I wouldn't say I'm an extrovert, but I'm like, I just can't do that. I don't like people doing that to me, like showing up at my door and, giving me a hard time, even though I always sign up for it.
Sure.
But so basically, I'd seen you around January and I watched some of your videos and I was like, this just sounds perfect for me. But again, I was like, oh, I don't know. It's San Diego. It's a long way to go. I'm in Atlanta. And then I've made all these horrible decisions before, but everything just felt right. And I was like, let's just go with your gut, and just go for it. And what is it? It was like a $300-400 flight. Yes, it's a 7-hour, 8-hour thing, but so what? I'm just gonna do it. I mean, of all the money I've spent over the past few years on crap, excuse my language, but I need to invest. This is not a lot of money to invest, at all. I mean, to $1,000 for a conference is nothing. It's really nothing.
Yeah.
And you get to spend, well, for me, it was a lovely break to go away for 3 nights and stay in a hotel all by myself with no kids. So it was lovely. Don't tell anybody I said. So yeah, so for me, basically, I'd watched you for a while, got on a couple of your calls, listened to some of your information, looked at some of the documents you sent, and it just sounded organic and easier and nice and just a better way to go. I'm just not the person who wants to be calling expireds and hounding them.
Mm.
So I did stalk you a little bit, and I did contact a couple of people that you'd worked with before which is probably the most due diligence I've ever done on
Yeah.
anything. So, people said great things about you. And I was like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be cut up into tiny pieces, hopefully.
Yeah.
So I just did it. And I'm so glad I did it because, you know, of course, my husband was, you know, oh, here she goes again, spending money on something else. But he has seen the difference in my attitude and my, you know, my energy since I've come back. Like, he just doesn't know what the hell's happened. He's this tornado running through the house and back out again. He's like, what is going on? So he's pretty excited.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And when I said to him, hey, let's go away to San Diego for the next one, and, you know, you come for a couple of days, he's like, sure. There's no questions. He's not going, oh, well, I don't know, this credit card, that credit card, la-di-da-di-da. You know, he's like, let's do it.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
And so, and man, gosh, we're going to get to the results you've had just in the last, you know, gosh, 7 to 9 to 10 days. But, excuse me, but before that, what, okay, so when you arrived at the 3-day event, like, over that first day, second day, third day, like, how quickly did it start going into your brain that it's like, wow, I am going to be a totally different realtor. I'm going to be a totally different person. Like, what, to kind of walk me through those 3 days.
Yeah. Well, it was probably in the first couple of hours, really. First, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. My son is home from school and he is now, I set him in the bedroom with chips and everything he needed. Yes. I'm sorry, Jonathan. Okay, in a minute. Can you say hi to Jonathan? And hi, Jonathan. Okay, yeah. Mommy needs to talk to Jonathan for a minute. Can you go and play on your iPad and I'll be right there? Good boy. Go upstairs and get Alexa. I'm so sorry.
No
worries. He can sit for 3 hours and not come and see me. And I just thought, he's got the broken foot and he had to stay home from school because I had field day today. So my nanny doesn't start till 10 o'clock.
Yeah, no worries.
So I'm sorry, if you're going to send this out to people, they're going to be like, what is going on? So, well, when I first arrived at the conference, there I see Dan, and Dan is like just so excited. He'd been to see you a few months before, and he'd been working with you, doing your coaching, and he was just like, you know, an older gentleman, like full of energy, bouncing off the walls. He was all excited, and so that was really cool. And then when I realized there was like 13 or 14 of us sitting around a conference table, it was really, that was awesome because it was really intimate. You know, so within the first few hours, we were all sharing ideas, asking questions. You know, you answered every question. It's not like you were standing on a stage with the, you know, a headpiece. Yeah, just chanting away to us. We were able to, you know, to interact with each other and with you, which was awesome. So there was still a part of me that was a bit like, okay, this is brilliant, but, you know, I know me, I'm not great at following up on things. I'm not great at putting things into you know, putting plans into place. So I just kept telling myself, this is awesome, and you're just going to have to get off your leap and do it. You know, do what he says you got to do, because if you do, the results, I mean, the people there who'd been working with you were saying they've had great results. It just sounded smart. It sounded simple, but super smart and easy. Yeah. So I was like, this is going to be it. This is what I've been looking for, really.
Oh, nice. Yeah. It's to me, it's all about building an easy, lucrative, and fun business. Right? And sure. So many times as realtors, we either complicate stuff, or somehow, some way, we're just following maybe other people's advice. But it's like so many coaches and realtors out there, or so many coaches of realtors or mentors have like never sold real estate. So they're just kind of telling realtors to do cockamamie stuff, like expireds and have all these ninja sales objections and this and that, and it's all about, to me, it's exhausting. Yeah. And it just doesn't feel right, and I just get this anxiety, you know, when I even think about it, and I'm sweating, like holding the phone, thinking, oh God, I don't want to do this. You know, it's like, oh, I still don't really like making phone calls, but these ones are just, you know, the ones that you suggest are just so much different. You know, it's not like you're calling Jim, who you've never met before. Right. And just pounding on him until he breaks down to let you in the door, you know? Right. Well, what were the if you could remember that far back, what were like the 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 things that you heard that you're like, oh my gosh, if I do that,
Mm-hmm.
my life will change. It'll be like floodgates opening up.
Well, just one of the major things he said was just do it. Like, just pick up the phone, just have the conversations, just do it. You know, I've been spending my last year, I'd get a Zillow lead and I'd send them a text.
Yeah.
And I'd pray, because I'm like, what am I going to say to them? I don't know what to say. So you gave us the dialogue of what to say, which doesn't sound like a dialogue. It sounds very natural. But, you know, so that's given me the confidence to pick up the phone. And I've got a couple of these phrases that I can come out with. And it's not heavy-handed. I'm not, you know, pounding them. You know, it's just easy. So the scripts, you know, just doing it, planning your day, which I haven't been super good at for the last week and a half, but I'm going to get around to that.
Yeah.
You know, making my calls. You know, the other thing that struck me was it's a simple system.
Yeah.
You know, and I think when you said just stick to it, rather than, I know I have the ability to kind of deviate. So I'll say 1 or 2 things, but I'll choose not to say the other things that might not make me feel so comfortable.
Yeah.
And then I won't get the same results. So simplicity, dialogues, just do it. When I think your approachability, and just that you have a great knack of figuring out how to communicate with people, just being able to twist a couple of words, not in a like, let's pull the wool over your eyes way, but, you know, tell me more, you know, stop and listen. Listen to what they're saying, hear what they're saying. So, and then what I really liked about the conference is I kind of had this vision that we'd show up and Mr. Zabrocki would be like, Mr. Super Busy, I'm a super busy coach guy. So at 5 o'clock, you'd be like, see ya. And we'd all be like, oh, okay, what do we do now? But you're like, let's go for dinner, let's go for lunch, let's have some drinks outside. And it was funny to see all of us like following around, like, let's just get another 10 minutes with him.
Sure.
Maybe his genius will just perforate into my pores. You know, so that was fun. I mean, you and Katie were just very normal, you know, down to earth people who wanted to be hospitable to everybody there too, not just like, hey, I'm here to make money out of you as a coach. You were really really very easy to talk to, and no question seemed stupid.
Yeah.
You know, I had no problem asking questions. I wasn't thinking, oh God, I'm going to sound like so silly. And you never showed it on your face. I'm sure you were thinking half the time, or not half the time, but sometimes you were probably like, what kind of question is that? But you're like, yeah, sure, awesome, okay. And I'm like, he probably thinks I'm an idiot asking this, but.
No.
So, yeah, so it was, I found it the whole experience was very easy, busy because we covered a lot, but just very collaborative, the atmosphere.
Nice.
You know.
Yeah, well, and I do that. Well, thanks for saying all those things. But one is, I always keep it to under 30 realtors because that's kind of my personality to begin with. Is I don't know, it's just me. And then 2, I just want people to truly get the stuff. Does that make sense? So it's like at the end of that 3-day event, it's like, yeah, you're not going to put all of it into practice, but if you put 3% of it, 5% of it into practice, you're gonna get results. And so tell us about that. Like, you're probably putting into practice less than 10% of this.
Oh yeah.
If that. And your first week back, tell me about some of the results you got.
Well, I came back on a Saturday afternoon and I had already made plans to take a current client out to see properties on Sunday. So I was out all day Sunday. And then I got a couple of leads through Zillow and through actually my company's relocation process. They'd sent me something. So in the olden days, I would have maybe sent a quick text, being scared to call them. What am I going to say? I'm going to sound like an idiot. So I just picked up the phone within a few minutes of getting these leads, and I was just calling people and using the script as much as I could remember, you know, like, what has you thinking of moving? Wow, tell me more. That's awesome. Okay, you know, just listening, building rapport, asking, you know, sensible questions, and never saying, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, how many square feet you want. That came up towards the end of the conversation, but it came up.
Virtual high five on that, sir. That's awesome. Good job. Oh,
yeah. So the Zillow lead I got was a guy moving from Florida who's looking to spend $400,000 to $600,000. So they're probably not going to move for another 6 months to a year, but that's fine. I don't, you know, hey, I like meeting new people. I like meeting cool people, and they're super nice, old school types. You know, they're in retirement. So we've built a great relationship already, and he's already told me he's an old school guy and he's definitely going to work with me, et cetera, et cetera. So I told them my promises, my guarantees. Then the other was the relocation. Same thing, got on the phone, had a chat. He was in California. So built rapport, tried to ask the right questions, listened. Got an appointment with him too. So he actually, over the weekend, he saw houses for 2 days, and we've just put actually 2 offers in yesterday to see how it works out.
Nice. Awesome.
Then I don't know what happened. I think like
what kind of price range would you say that one is?
Oh, that one is about we're at 350 on that.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you got like a 400 to 600. You got a 350. Beautiful. And what else?
So then I actually got a referral from a previous client, which he must have known. The universe must have been speaking to him that I was going to be calling and asking for referrals, because I didn't ask for it. But I got it, and I called the referral immediately. Again, olden days, I would have been texting and skirting around, sending an email, like, oh, how can I avoid speaking directly to this person?
Right.
So we had a great chat, and I used most of the dialogue, had it in front of me, and, you know, asked all the questions. And it turns out that his wife was on her way to sign a contract for a new build. So what I did was I started sending them properties, because she was all about new properties. So I went back a couple of years, and I got a phone call that evening. You know, 6:30, I'm sitting with my kid with a broken leg in the back, because I've no husband, no nanny. My my daughter's in gymnastics. They say, hey, we saw this house, we really want to see it. And I'm like, I'm an hour away with my kids. They're like, bring the kids. So I get over there at 8:30, show them a property, and with kids, and the next day they put an offer in on the property for $550,000.
Yeah.
Yep. And then they asked me, well, they didn't quite ask me, but I offered to help them sell their house. So Sunday night I went out to them, and instead of using my digital listing presentation, which basically is BS and talks about my company too much, I just did what you do in your initial consultation, and I called it a consultation rather than a listing presentation, which of course, as you pointed out, like, what layperson is going to talking about a listing presentation, right?
Right.
So I was not great. You know, I need to really get myself practicing the consultation more, but they gave me the listing, no problem.
Gosh, that's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's $280,000.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, what else has happened?
That's amazing. Well, I'm just adding this up real quick. I mean, basically, you get a 400 to 600, so call it 500, a 350, so that's at like 850, plus a 550. Oh boy, my math. So that's 1.4 million, plus a 280, so that's 1,680,000.
Oh my gosh, I haven't even added it up myself.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that 1,680,000 in the last 7 to 10 days is not like the previous month that you had even before you attended the 3-day event.
No, last year I did 2 million all year.
Wow. Wow. So 2 million in a year to basically close to 2 million in 10 days.
Yeah. I mean, now that you're saying it to me, I'm realizing I'm beginning to get goosebumps because I'm realizing how crazy it is. And I haven't even started doing the stuff, the real meat and potatoes of what you've told me to do.
Right.
Oh, there's one more thing I forgot.
Yes.
Lender conversations. I had a conversation with one lender who said, oh, I can't help you, la-di-da-di-da. Then the lender who's helping my clients buy the 550 house called me.
Nice.
So I wasn't expecting to have this conversation with him, but I just launched into my conversation about how I want him to give me $500,000 a month in business. And he said, I'm your guy. And I was like, what just happened? So, you know, I'm going to go meet him on Friday and we're going to sit down and chat. And I'm going to bring my top 150 dialogue and show him that and chat to him. We'll see. I'm going to still shop around because, you know, he's saying he's going to give me the business, but who knows whether he will or not. But he's saying he's going to give me $500,000 worth of business a month, which would be $6 million a year.
So you add that 6 million to the 2 million, and it's like it's not that. I mean, this stuff is not like digging ditches in the backyard. It's not like we're getting under our fingernails. It's not like we're having to go through 100 rejections a day.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of rejection you've had since probably coming to 3-day of the event is like 0.
Yeah, and the honest truth is I wouldn't have ever risked rejection before because I was too much of a wuss to even make the phone calls.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know what to say, so I'll say nothing.
And the awesome thing though is, since the event, I mean, in reality, how much have you been rejected?
0 times, I think. I did have an open house. You know, I did. That was another thing that one of your recommendations, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you about this because I haven't updated you on this one, but I did get a few leads. Wasn't great. I need to again work on it because the stuff you told us is awesome, but you do need to remember and practice it. And I do. And I think over time I'm going to get more. It's not that I'm trying to be polished or fake. There's certain ways I can talk to people I know now that I can get more information, that I can show them, I can help them.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm just working on that. And the stuff that you taught us helps me with that. I just need to keep working on it and getting better. But I did the open house and I did get about 5 leads. However, I didn't convert them on the spot because that's another thing I need to work on. But I did speak to a buyer yesterday from that open house who basically, I gave everybody my promises, guarantees.
Nice.
And he said they just started looking, but they will be using, he's told me they're going to use me to buy their house. But they have some stuff coming up. They may end up moving to England, so it might work out. But, you know, one of the people who came in without an agent, I got a great chat with them when I was there, told them about myself and stuff, and found out what they're looking for. So I'm going to keep in touch with them. What kind
of price point on that?
They're looking around 500,000.
So about 500,000.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! So now your number just went to 2,180,000. That's incredible. And then you'd also mentioned too there was like some neighbor that came in. And
yeah, that's right. He came in and he's looking to sell and buy. So, you know, as I'd mentioned to you before, I was a bit, you know, still hard on myself because I didn't really do as well as I could have done with closing him for an appointment. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to keep working on that. I realized he'd just given me his email address, so I sent him an email video, and I think the next step would probably be just to knock on his door and just be like, hey, are you ready for an appointment yet?
Right. Yeah.
Which scares me. You know, it does scare me. Yeah. And when I had that conversation with the lender, I felt a little bit uncomfortable because I'm not used to saying, hey, give me business, or, you know, because I deserve it.
Right. Well,
you know, I told him, sorry.
Yeah. It's basically, it's like getting really clear on what you want. And then it's kind of, you know, standing up for what you want and, mm-hmm. and not being mean or overbearing, because I would say you and I are pretty low key people, but it's just being really clear with people and it's so funny. It's like when you do that, like you said, you've had zero rejection, you know, in the last 10 days, and basically I'm the same too. It's not like it's
Yeah.
when you follow this signature system, it's like this quote unquote rejection that most realtors go through, and I don't know why they keep going through it. It just goes away because it's like people can't really reject you. It you know.
Yeah.
And so tell me too about, like, okay, so that neighbor who's thinking of selling his house and buying a house, what do you think, that is that in that $500,000 range too, you think?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I'm not sure, he's looking to downsize, but you know, sometimes in Atlanta, downsizing doesn't mean spending less. It might
Exactly.
be moving to the country club to a smaller house, but you know, we're still looking at spending a fortune. So I didn't get into that with him at the time.
Yeah.
So
I'm just thinking in my brain, so maybe his house will sell for 500, maybe he buys something for 320.
yeah.
So boy, using those numbers, add that to the 2,180,000. Now you're at 3,020,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it's just oh,
Mind-boggling.
yeah. When you show this seller that 12-page brochure, is you know, he's gonna say, well, what are you gonna do different? It's like, well, pretty much everything. You know, I'm gonna do everything that every other realtor in Atlanta does, plus an additional 34 things, and let me show you and go through it. And you know,
Yeah.
it's just like that listing presentation you went on. I mean, the listing presentation I use, is that the simplest thing you've ever seen?
Yeah. And you know, I always thought, oh, I gotta look fancy and do it on my iPad, and you know, I don't want to give them this and show them pieces of paper. But I'm just like, what? This is how when I think about it, then I'm like, this is how I would want somebody to present it to me. Why am I doing the fancy schmancy keynote or whatever it's called presentation on my iPad using my phone? You know, like, ooh, look at me, I'm fancy. You know,
Right.
I can sell your house because I can work an iPad.
Right. Oh yeah. It's all about getting into the other person and really just helping them out. You know,
Yeah.
and the more that I think we remember that, the more it's like those type of people are just attracted to us. And that's how within 7 to 10 days, I mean, you can do or have over $3 million with, I mean, a few of those already pending. I mean, and last year to have done, let's say, 2 million. And so it's like I tell people, I'm like, yeah, and your world's going to change at such a rapid pace, and you don't have to work 100 hours a week, and you don't have to take 7 hours of rejection a day. You can basically take 0 rejection, and just like when you work, man, just go full board and work. Just like you picking up when that lead came in, it was like, all right, I'm going to connect with them and I'm going to have a conversation. And so kudos to you for like, taking the courage to like do it, and then like signing up for it, investing in yourself, and then 3, just really following that signature system that I have, and being willing to be held accountable, right? To actually do it.
That's what I need. I mean, it's just not going to work for me if I don't do that. I know that.
Yeah.
You come home from the conference, you have all of these tools that are fantastic, but my personality, I know myself, I just can't, I need somebody there to help, to say, what did you do? How did you do it? You know, did you accomplish it? Because then I feel like that accountability, because I want to, you know, there's a part, I suppose, impress the, you know, not so much impress the person, but be able to go back and say to you, hey, guess what I did? That's why I sent you those video emails, because I'm like, hey, Jonathan, guess what happened? I'm driving the car and I'm like trying not to look at the video so I don't crash. But, you know, so you want to be able to call somebody to say, guess what I did? Am I great? Or somebody to say, but did you really follow the steps? No.
Yeah, which is really cool about this, and that it's such a simple system, and you don't have to have every piece in place to have great success. Because I
Yeah.
guarantee you, 12 months from now, your dialogues are gonna be even better,
Hmm.
and whatnot. But even within 10 days, wow, to get over 3 million in results,
Yeah,
that's
that's
awesome.
crazy.
And like you haven't even started the like lead section. You know, the three big ones are leads, ICs, initial consultations, and then just, you know, celebrations. And
Yeah,
so all this is coming, and you're not even starting really that lead
I
generation
know.
stuff. And yeah, it's just really exciting. I mean, oh my gosh, um, I think probably very soon you'll be like, I need to probably hire another realtor in Atlanta to help me out. You know what
I
I mean?
know. Well, I mean, I had a crazy busy weekend, but I had the California people, the Florida people, and my current clients that I was showing around. On Monday, I had 3 different clients that I had to show properties to. It was nuts.
Mm.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't done an open house in probably about 6 months and I said to my husband, quote, if I ever say I'm going to do an open house again, shoot me. Because I had one person who came in. I'm like sitting there, what do I do? I don't know what to do.
Right.
So, you know, this time it was actually fun. I had 9 sets of people come through. I had interesting conversations with people. I enjoyed it, shockingly enough, sitting in a vacant house. But,
Gosh, that's
you know,
awesome, Sarah. I mean, so not 9 sets of people came through. Over half of them gave you their info. One of
yeah.
them is like, yeah, we're buying, and it's whatever that price range was, I forget.
Mhm.
And then the other person from across the street, which is like, yeah, I'm selling my house. I want to buy a house, and I'm basically interviewing realtors. And it's
Mhm.
like, wow, well, that's a good fit because I'm a realtor, and yeah, you can interview me all you want.
What a coincidence.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's awesome. So okay, so what would you tell the people who are on the fence about coming to this 3-day event, and they're like,
Mhm.
should I do it? Should I not do it? What would you tell them?
I would say just do it. You know, the way I looked at it as well at the time, it was costing me a few days of my time, which honestly, I was floundering and didn't really know where I was going to be taking my business anyway. So those 3 days, what would I have been doing here? Maybe avoiding more phone calls and texting more people, you
Yeah,
know? So it was just a matter of organizing my family life. It cost me whatever, $500, $600 for a flight and a hotel, and then $1,000 for the conference, which you essentially will say you'll give back if the person is not happy.
yeah,
So what is it costing you? Nothing really. It's not costing you a huge amount. And if you even get uh, like $100,000 deal from using 2% of the information, you've paid for it.
right,
You know what I mean? So it's you just got to do it. You
yeah,
just got to do it because it's going to change. I mean, I'm still a scaredy cat, and there's part of me that's still scared about the number you just threw out and whether I can really live up to that and do everything I need to do. And that's why I'm glad I have you two to help me, coach me,
yeah.
because I know in 2 weeks I'd be like, oh no, I'll just back down a little bit. But you know, I need somebody to hold me accountable.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think people should do it. I kind of don't want anybody from Atlanta to do it because I don't want anybody else here knowing about you a little way. There's part of me that wants to shout from the rooftops, and then there's the other part was like, oh God, no, I don't want everybody else being a good professional real estate consultant, because then I'm competing with them to get the business. But
Well,
I've told a few people about you that I think, would really, really do a good job with, there's some people could tell about you here that would just, the ones that don't want to even spend $100 in Zillow a month, that you'd just be talking to the wind. But I really believe that, everybody should be doing coaching.
mm,
I mean, it's just, you look at sports, like athletes, they have coaches. Anybody who's successful in life has a mentor, a coach, whatever. You just can't do it on your own, and especially in this business when you just don't get any support from the traditional brokerages.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
no,
need somebody.
I hear you. It's well, and I think that the big difference too is like I'm a realtor first and foremost, right? So
Mhm.
like, I'm doing this stuff. I mean, I've the 3-day event is so much information because it's like, okay, this is me 14 years ago at zero, and
Yeah.
this is me now today at 368 million in sales. So let me show you how I did that. And hey, last year I did 29.2 million in sales. So it's I'm not sitting in an ivory tower telling uh, serfs like this is the work you need to do. It's like
Mhm.
I'm doing it right along with you, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
and I mean a lot of other real estate coaches that I've thought about signing up with, they're doing their big speaking engagements in front of thousands of people with their headpiece on, and they maybe have been realtors but haven't been realtors in 20 years.
mm,
That's no use, and they're just telling you to go out and hound FISBOs and expireds. I mean, I'm so tired, so sick and tired of hearing that. It's like,
uh,
so, I mean, people can go to your event for 3 days and they could walk away with a lot, like just tools to completely change their business. Of course, my recommendation would be to coach with you as well.
mm,
But what I did was I did baby steps. I finally made the decision, which I wish I'd done back in February, to
yeah.
go and see you. And then you go and you see you in action, and they get all of the dialogues and all of the information that you have and the guide to your success. And you realize it's a little piece of gold. And I know for me personally, I couldn't walk away and continue on my own anymore. I needed that support for sure.
Well, that's
Um,
awesome. It's
and I the only way I feel I'm going to continue this success, hopefully. So there's still a little bit of me that's a little scared. But by following the rules, by checking in, accountability, and asking for help.
mhm.
So it's good. It's kind of weird and scary for me just because it's so different to what I was doing last year, and I've so much more energy, and I'm enjoying it a lot more. It's not just about making money, but I'm enjoying meeting people and talking to people because I'm having good conversations.
That's the key. It's all about working with just premium clients who
Yeah.
really value you, and you're not having to pull people's teeth.
Oh,
You're not having to do a song and a dance and an Irish jig, to get someone's business. It's like, gosh,
exactly.
this is what I can do for you, and it's so like mind blowing when
Yeah.
people just go, yeah, and for me, I've done it so long, it's not as mind blowing,
Yeah.
but it's like in 12 months from now, when you're doing, I don't know, $3 million a month in business, and it's like people are gonna come to you and be like, "How are you doing this?" It's like, well, these are these really simple ways,
Mm-hmm.
and what's interesting too. So I used to think too, like, gosh, I don't want to share this information with realtors because I don't want people to do it, and I only started doing this coaching and training for realtors nationally probably about 12 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
11 months ago, because I was like, I just want to keep all this information to myself.
Yeah.
And now I even have a coaching client, and she's one zip code away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 100% fine with it because I finally realized, I'm like, you know what? There's so much business out there.
Yeah.
And, there's already 20,000 realtors in San Diego or Atlanta. And if
Yeah.
10 of them know this stuff, there's still so much, like, there's just so much business out there.
Yeah.
Um,
It's weird to me, that I think when you're getting your license and you're getting into the business, people tell you, oh, this is the cheapest business you can get into. All you need to do is buy your business cards and off you go.
mm,
And really that's BS. It's not, you can't do that. It's a business. Every business, you need to spend money to make money. You need to invest, as you say, in yourself. And if you don't, you're just going to spend, like the last 3 years I spent, investing in the wrong things, all these little gizmos and gadgets, like this is going to change my business. And you're just going to waste time, and I could there was, I guess, 3 or 4 people at the conference I went to who had been to your previous conference who had been working with you for a few months, and they had great results too. So that put my, put me at ease, and I knew that it was going to be good for me too. So,
Yeah.
and it's not BS, it's proven results that they talked about, like, this has improved my business this much. I mean, Dan was an example. He just, as I say, Dan is drinking the Kool-Aid. Like, he is fully on board, and he thinks, Jonathan Zabrocki is, the second coming.
Well,
it's really cute. I love his energy and how he's so excited.
Yeah.
It's really awesome to see.
Well, it's all about the results, right? Because gosh, I think last year he did something like 97,000. No, 97,000 was his highest year ever for income, right? Yeah. Over like 36, 37 years. And this year he's like, yeah, if I add it all up, I think he said I'm on pace to do over 300,000.
Yeah. I think he's actually closer to 400. And I think I'm scared to think what he's going to, that was, from the first conference with you. Right. And then the second, I'm sort of scared to know what Dan's doing right now in Arizona. Like, he's probably like not going to, I don't know. He's probably made $1 million by now, or I don't know what. He's just, he's so full of beans, and he's so excited. Yeah. I think his wife forced him on the airplane to come back to the second one.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think, like he says, is like I can't even sleep at night because I'm just so excited. I'm just so full of like.
I had that too when I came home. I've had that too, and I've been waking up. Normally I can wake up at 6 and just can't, be happy to fall back to sleep on a weekend. But I'm like, woo, getting up on my computer. I know exactly how he feels.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
so
hey,
I think it's the best thing I've ever done, honestly, for my business, which was really just my business wasn't a real business before this. Now I really feel good. I feel confident that it's a real business. I feel like I'm a serious professional real estate consultant.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I would say this, probably your confidence level, I'm guessing in the last 2 weeks is like through the roof.
Huge. I just feel like a different person. I feel like I'm smart. I feel like they'd be not in a cocky, oh, they'd be lucky to work with me, but I'm like, I know I can do a great job for them. I need to let them know I can help them. I can do this. I can really, and I'm giving myself a break too. Like, there's little things I come across. I can't remember how to do this. I don't know the rules about this, and I'm like, that's okay. It's okay to keep learning and keep growing. Perfection, what's progress, not perfection.
Exactly.
So I think anybody out there is thinking about it. I mean, it's not, what the heck is it? It's 3 days out of your life, $1,000 that you could get back if you really had to, but you're not going to want it back. And a few days in San Diego, oh no. Like, going out for nice pizza dinners and meeting some really, really cool agents. I mean, even if they learned nothing from you, which is simply impossible, just meeting other agents who someday might throw them a referral. And everybody that I met was so collaborative and just really cool, and everybody was very respectful of each other's time in the conference, letting people ask questions. It was just a great. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't late.
Yeah, nice.
I was there at 8 o'clock every day, and you could tell the people who we were afraid to even let you go home. Like, we're following you around because maybe there's going to be a little bit more information.
Right.
That will make me an extra million.
Well, I would say this, the conference is definitely for people who are like looking for a total different way of doing real estate that's just a lot easier, right? And it's like doing it in a way that you're going to get results like fast, and these results are going to stick. So this real estate roller coaster of ups and downs is diminished, and over time even like eliminated, and
I can't wait.
Oh, go ahead.
I can't wait for that. But also, I think people who are brand new to the business, you know, they come in and they think, oh, I don't want to spend money because everybody tells me I don't have to, which is, yeah. Oh, I'll wait a year, see how I do. Don't wait a year. Don't do what I did, which is wait 2 or 3 years and just, you know, my first year, I think I made about $14,000 and I owed more than that in the stuff I spent on, you know.
Yeah.
Just banging my head off a brick wall. Don't wait, even if you're new. If you're in the business 20 years, do it. If you're in the business 2 months, do it, because you're going to set yourself up for success from the get-go. So you won't get in those stupid holes of ridiculousness, you know, where you're doing the wrong things. You know, learn how to do it right from the beginning.
Yeah, and it's even yeah. It's so easy, and I wish I could like force, you know, everyone to come and experience it, because it's so life changing.
I know. It's because everybody's being sold, you know, from here, there, and everywhere, and that's why I followed you a fair bit, because I knew it was different, and you were saying I can help you. You're not, you know, you don't come across as like I'm trying to steal your money. Like, because you're charging hardly anything for a conference, which is taking 3 days out of your business where you could be out making 30 grand a day, you know, more probably. You know, you're in real estate, you're doing fabulously. You don't need to be doing this conference. That's spending time with us and being patient and listening to our silly questions and not telling us, stop being silly and go away.
Right.
But yeah, so I wish I could force people to do it too, because it's just a no-brainer.
Nice.
It really is. I mean, just do
it. Right. Well, hey, Sarah, thank you so much for your time today, and I know this will be helpful for people.
Yeah.
And I appreciate
people are welcome to call me or email me as well if they want to and have a chat. I am a real person. I really went to Jonathan's conference. And I'm excited and proud to say that I'm also coaching with him. So
nice. All right. So I'll give people too my cell number, because I'm as real as they come. And you know, if anybody's got any questions on this, reach out to me. My cell number is 858-212-1245. Again, 858-212-1245. As Sarah knows, you can call me anytime. I might answer in 30 minutes, and I might answer in 2 days, but I definitely will get back to you. And then, yeah, if you're okay sharing your phone number in case people want to reach out to you, Sarah, what's the best number?
My number is 404-316-7151. 404-316-7151.
Cool. And for those people watching this, if you have somebody moving to Atlanta and you want that buyer and seller to really get a phenomenal VIP experience and really work with a realtor that gets it, that has 3 promises, 3 things she's going to do for them, performance guarantees for buyers and for sellers, definitely reach out to Sarah, and she'll take phenomenal care of your clients. So
thank you, Jonathan.
yeah, of course. Well, hey, have a great day, Sarah, and we'll talk later today.
Okay, thanks. Have a good rest of your day till I see you again.
Yes, bye.
Bye.